I'll start if you want.
Sure.
Mayor, are you able at all to talk about the suspension of Officer Emler? Chief DeMasi had told me yesterday that basically, because I said, there are going to be some people that are even concerned that it was a light discipline. And he said that there were extenuating circumstances, mostly being that a lot of people didn't cooperate. So he was kind of hamstrung on that. So do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, that's what I heard as well, that they didn't have the information that they needed because of not full cooperation. And they did what they could based on what they had. It's just inconceivable and not to be tolerated, that kind of behavior. If in fact it occurred, that's not the kind of policing we want in our city.
You had said that Chief DeMasi, back when this all came out, when you guys made the settlement, that Chief DeMasi was trying to do things to change. Well, there was a semantics thing where people said, well, what are you doing to change the culture? And basically what you and the chief said is, we don't need to change the culture, we just need to change the perception that people have. Is that still your position?
One of the things that Chief DeMasi has done so well is to really be a leader in the police department, and has gained the respect of the officers on the street and all of his command staff, because he's a very thoughtful person. And the work that they're doing now in the police department is all intelligence-led policing based on data, so they can look at data and look at where the hot spots are and really address those issues. I think that I know that he has gotten more participation from the rank and file in what's going on. He meets on a regular basis with all of the police officers. There's just a much more we're a team kind of approach there. And I don't know if you call that culture or what you call it, but he has respect of the people who work for him, and I think that is a big piece of it. It was a perception that our police officers may have not approached things in the more positive way that we'd like them to approach it. And I think it's a perception. I see the guys on the street all the time and talk with them, and they're out there to help the public, and that's the stand that they're taking, and that's the direction that they have.
You referred to the 45th Street flea market as a chronic nuisance. What needs to happen moving forward there?
When a property is declared a chronic nuisance, it means that the property owner then has to develop a plan to address all of the nuisance violations that have occurred. That plan has to be submitted to our chronic nuisance officer, and she will take a look at it, determine whether it's a good plan or whether it needs some tweaking. Plan has to be submitted within 15 days. She'll look at it, review it, they'll have another 15 days. If there have to be any changes, then the plan has to be implemented. If the plan's not implemented, we can then go in and make the changes necessary, improve the property, and then any cost that the city has in that aspect will then be placed on the property owner's tax bill. So the property owner will ultimately pay the city back through taxes.
The merchants there were really outspoken about being declared a chronic nuisance. What are just your expectations as far as them following that process moving forward, and just the future of that area and of that operation?
Well, my expectation is that they'll comply, and I hope that the merchants insist on the owners complying. They're in an unfortunate position. It's not their fault that any of this is happening, although there are some instances when illegal activities have been occurring within an individual merchant's booth or stall. But those good people who are there and who have a legitimate business, they need to demand more from the people who run the flea market and own the property.
And then just finally on that, just as far as say they do follow that, comply, they'll stay in operation. Is the city looking to maybe police that area, handle it a bit differently than it has in the past?
We've always policed it, knowing that it was an area that we had to keep our eye on. I just talked to you about intelligence-led policing. In areas where we know that there are lots of incidents, we pay special attention to, and that will continue. I suspect once they clean that place up, once it looks like a respectable place, the clientele will change.
There were some saying at the meeting the other day, and people who have said that really this is just a strategy that you're taking to shut them down. Step one, declare a chronic nuisance. Step two, give them demands they can't meet. 3, shut them down.
It's a strategy. It's a strategy to get them to comply with their code violations and to clean up their property. We do this. We have 160, something like that, chronic nuisance properties. We follow the same procedure with all 160, and they're one of them, and we'll follow the same procedure with them. We're not imposing anything we haven't imposed on other property owners on them.
But you're not dead set on shutting them down. You're not saying, we're going to shut them down. What do we need to do to make it happen?
I'm not saying that. It's a business in our city, and if we can make it a successful business, then I think we should do that. But if it's not safe, and if they don't comply, we will shut them down. It's in their hands. It's not going to be, they control their own fate.
And do you want to say anything at all about it in advance of the Rybovich discussion?
No, not really. I think the project they're bringing forward, I guess I will say something. The project they're bringing forward is innovative and exciting. I think that there's still some design work that has to be done, and I suspect that the commission will have some good suggestions for them going forward.
You think it'll be a long meeting?
I don't think it'll be as long as the last few meetings we've had, but it will be long. Are there any games that we need to worry about?
I think so.
Anything else?
Just with the outlets opening next month, just the latest on that and your expectations for that project when they open up and the impact it'll have.
Oh, well, we're just so excited about it. We think it's already had a huge impact on development in that whole area. It's had a huge impact on our development services department. We just heard this morning that we have issued 1,400 permits just for the mall. So we've been very busy. We've talked with the police. We've met with the mall developers and our police department. Police are ready to be there, making sure traffic flows smoothly. The mall has an outstanding security plan. They have cameras and lighting and private security. So I think it's going to be a great success. I'm looking forward to going there.
Okay, thanks.